Rest guard and scram. They've already picked up 2 eliminations so far in this game. When it comes to dealing with the earlier phases of Surge, you've seen a lot of the second zone Surge in these games today, and these guys will be able to avoid that. And of course, the Spider-Man web shooters gives them hope in endgame. They're setting up well moving forward. They just need to get their metal up, and really and truly they'll be good. Who's at North? I'm guessing that's going to be Ken and Queasy, so they'll probably be wise to avoid those guys. We know what those guys can do with some of their mid-game traps and plays. But Andrea and Flois, who, again, I was surprised to see Andrea and Flois make it through. And they've been pretty quiet, sitting in 22nd right now. But to be fair, we've seen bigger hills be overcome in the past. I wouldn't put my money on these guys to do that just yet. But we'll see how things play out. They've got a duo just below them that may give them some issues. It's going to be Bootback and Karma, who we saw get stomped on towards the Bugle last game. And so they're staying, I wouldn't say well away from the Bugle. We are just around the corner from it, but I doubt they'll want to go so pivotal.
You can kind of feel the Game 6 atmosphere on the map as well. Lots of desperation earlier on. Usually we see like, what, 40, 42 teams alive? 10 less players up in the zone. Lots of quiet neighborhoods around, right? Like there's just nothing really going on for a lot of people other than getting to zone. And soon that Storm Surge will kind of kick in. Not too many people will need to go down. I'm wondering if Fastaroki and Kylie have gotten enough damage. 2 elims seems like enough, but this is, I feel like, the 8th POV I've seen where someone's at 100 or 105 points, 106 points. Is all the rest of EU just hitting triple digits? Is everyone tied for this race? How many teams? Man, how many?
There's a lot of people in this race, Shire. And so, fortunately now we can see live who changes what place, because otherwise it would be an absolute nightmare for us. A lot of these teams coming into it really do hold a chance, and especially with some of the teams who we knew were the big players going down early, it's really opened that door, right? The likes of Floki and Clement going down.
Yeah, like even right now, this is 18th place. If Thomas and Dayson just get 2 duels eliminated, right? They're there at the triple digit mark, caught up with everyone else. Just add 12 straight in, almost at 100, right? Some placement will come in here and there. Once again, math not the complete forward strong suit, but that's what I'm saying. If 18th is in the race, man, that makes it so close. That's a lot of teams in the end game that have a chance. It could go any which way.
Yeah, these guys
oh my God,
Surge.
Thomas HD.
Oh my, wow. Thomas HD, one of the few players in the region that likes to carry this AR, but we see exactly why. The Ranger being put to absolute use there.
My back was bending. My own. I'm not even taking the shot. I was leaning backwards with this one. That shouldn't be possible.
It's a good thing we don't have a player cam for Kidua, because I'm telling you, man, he'd be doing a madness on the player reaction right now.
I think the player cam will be broken. I don't think it'd be active after that one.
Yeah, that's not how you want to go out in the last game. Look, like I said, not many players this season like to carry that Ranger, especially at the pro level. Thomas is one of the only ones that actually does, and clearly it's for good reason. I'm gonna swap it out though, because the MK, especially with the epic variant, is just a bit more stronger in his hands. But wow, really nice shots there. And I was gonna say, before he hit those crazy shots, they saw an opportunity in fight that they could actually third party without too much disruption, and that's going to be really good for their Surge in terms of moving forward. They're going to have a lot of resources. Of course, they've got the movement potential as well now this game, and so Shai, you were down there earlier, but I still got faith in my boys. Still got faith. Come on, boys.
They just need 4 elims to catch up to Zragi, Tripper, and actually this is more so 5-6. They can do it, but they have to grab it themselves. This game's not going to fall into their hands. Once again, they were 18th place overall, and they're trying to catch up to 10 places so far. This late in the competition, it's very tough. This is 9th place is POV, Zragi, Tripper, and I think right in front of them is the deal and reason to have a chance to usurp the points. Actually, so well set up. So many mats. Whiplash available as well. No chonkers, but they'll be able to move fast enough.
This is real nice. Real nice. You see them making the use of that boost as well to push themselves in zone past the teams. There were a couple teams positioned in some elevated spots who maybe would have stopped them if they were on foot. But as they boost their way through, way too quick to even bother shooting at. And so these guys now will position themselves well in the zone on their journey to trying to make it towards that end game.
Okay. Is there a team that has like no points or something? This is the 19th POV at 106. Like, what?
Well, there is a team with no points. I told you, right? Marine?
No, I'm just saying like in the game right now. Obviously, there's you know, teams that are struggling, but I swear every single player on the map right now is fighting still and has a chance. I see 30th and 32nd now. So they're definitely on. I look for those teams, specifically 11-2, because they can cause the most damage. They're still here to play consistently. They're looking for the absolute pop-off, right? We saw 30th to 6th place with Floki and Clement, right? These teams aren't going to be playing the most orthodox ways. They might start pushing boxes even faster. They're very dangerous and should still be kept track of, at least on, you know, a few of the adventures we'll be watching in this last game.
100%. Even a place that don't get top 8, they're playing for series points, right? And so,
true.
You know, there's only 2 qualifiers, right? You know, you want to make sure you are high up on that series point leaderboards. Otherwise, you make it a very, very difficult task going into tomorrow's qualifying games. So, really and truly, everybody in this lobby has something incredible to play for. But you're right, there is an element of less pressure for those teams who maybe are a bit lower down, where the decision-making becomes a bit more loose.
Yep. And right now, for one of the teams, Putrick and Queasy, only ones right now who kind of rolled in and are kind of kings of FNCS in general when it comes to duos. They have a VR on both seasons, on both sides.
Oh, wow.
And they've been bullied, too, the entire time. So.
Queasy less so bullied, Queasy.
Yeah. We'll see, though. It's just the first 5 games so far. This will be the 6th.
They come out.
Squeezy's had his rough times as well, though, too, right? Like, especially the trio season sometimes. Those guys were in tough spots.
Yeah, but I feel like Queasy's really evolved into, you know, one of the powerhouses of the region.
Oh, hold up.
His knowledge, his ideology around the game, playing for height, you always expect to see them up there, sorry. And when they're up there, they don't play around, so... Again, definitely a team that I want to see in the FNCS finals. Thomas and Tayson, another team I want to see there. And you can see their position in the zone, which is nice. Again. But will they have the end game that we've been wanting them to have all day long?
Oh, man. That was crazy. I was watching Thomas shoot at Queasy for a little bit. Usually, it's teamwork. It's side by side, hand in hand, looking to move in certain spaces. Now, they're in the same spaces, but they're shooting at each other. Tough to watch as a fan, you know, of both.
Yeah, man. Their union in trios was a beautiful thing to see. It worked really well for both sides. Like you said. On opposing teams. And 68 below isn't...
No, give it a second. Oh wow, it's actually updated and it is 68 below. Wow, there's no scammers, there's no fake out.
Oh no, there is.
That's the wrong number. I was waiting for it too. That's not fair, man.
That's not fair, man.
111 above. Is everyone above on stream right now? Once again, this seems too good to be true. Every team we're watching, on the line, every team above Surge as well. This endgame is about to pop. Oh, look at that Vino taking an extra shot a little bit off the top. 102, him and Joe, we've seen kind of just their escapades when they roll in. But not much after the fact, really. Not their entire process is how they move from point A to point B. The same thing with Senna and Ray had lots of cool replay highlights, lots of cool moments in the end game, but how do they get there, especially under this pressure? 10 players need to go down. There's 71 damage above. That can dwindle quickly.
Yeah, these guys have been impressive today, but one of their biggest problems is that they've been a jack of all trades and a master of none. Decent early game, decent mid game, decent end game. But this has to be the game where their end game goes from decent to excellent if they want to retain their spot sitting right on that 8th place slot.
And then from 71 to 17, now down to 5 below. Might be a perfect temperature to go skating, but right now these guys want to just maybe more so swim, heat up towards the top. 49 above now. This is just, I feel like I'm watching a high school drama show. It's too much for me to handle. Too many twists, too much back and forth. Get consistent. 104 above. Senna finds one final shot before they actually move. Spider-Man Gauntlets going in early. Lots of damage taken too. You have to be careful. The damage you take might be a team who's right beside you. Might make you actually go down in number as well. It's so disastrous. But Senna keeps it moving. Another Gauntlet. Another one used as well. Down to 7. Huge. Because every one of these is so vital in the end game.
Yeah, you see that Senna did a really good job of scouting, understanding when was the right time to actually take that when teams wouldn't be looking at them. You can see they're really playing for keeps, taking everything as carefully as they can. Top left of your screen, you can see Queasy and Hen posturing for height. You know that's where they want to be once first moving pulls. And Trippin and Zrogi, who we talk so highly of, another team that needs to hold on to their place in this game. Let's see what they were able to do earlier though. Some nice eliminations, capitalizing on desperate teams on that zone line. Oh, it's brilliant.
So good, and now they fly by. 459 damage above, 114 points. Those elims will push them all the way up into 6th place. What a nice wall to put down too. Just for every storyline, Clash is inside the air. The majority of the lobby pulling zone. No one really in a bad spot, but this is the north side. This is where the mountains thrive. And we have a lot of terrain to cover. Tripper and Zrogi will get spicy, get hot, and stay on the move to keep their dreams alive. It's all about the top 8.
Yeah, let's not beat around the bush here. You don't want to get caught out. You don't want to choke in this final game, especially when you look like you're in such a great position. Stenna and Rayed staggering now, letting players get ahead of them as they take some shots because they know they got the web shooters to get ahead when needed. And that's what exactly they will do. Need to be careful though that they don't run into any other teams. You can see the builds around Stenna aren't his. You got to be careful, son. You don't want to run into a sticky situation as we've seen in previous games. Vino and Jodo on the bottom of your screen, they've actually went for height and they've taken it. One of the first opportunities they've had to do so. And what a time to do it when they are sitting in 10th looking to try and get into the top 8. And if they're going to do it from any position, it will be high ground.
Absolutely, but they'll have to take out the top POV right now. Stenna and Rayed still holding down 8th place overall, 115 points. They're 6 ahead of Vino on the bottom right. Our pocket pick right now, Thomas and Tayson, they're trying for big things and they actually go for the high ground. Take their 7 below, 27 actually. Storm Surge, 105 from Thomas though, to put them back above, and they're doing this while fighting for height. Where's Tayson? He's on the same layer now. Splash is thrown down, there's still Surge all the way down below. A big Spider-Man dive, but the webs won't hit anything on the wall. They actually go splat. Thomas then goes up straight for another big take. The other high ground still shooting forward. He doesn't even care. 97 points is up against Rifle and Mariah. Tayson slightly behind him. They're still in 15th place overall, challenging the 1st place holders of the lobby, and they don't have the fuel to get the job done.
Yeah, the 1st place team sitting up above on height. That's where they want to be to close things out. Thomas and Tayson, they committed just too many materials to that height take. And so now we can see the desperation will start to kick in. Tayson searching, hungry for eliminations on the back of the zone. But he still maybe has his eyes set on height. They still have some Spider-Man web shooter charges left. And so they will look up for height. Mariah is not safe. Thomas, though, needs to be careful. They've damaged him a bit. He's down to 16 HP, but he has time to get his shields up. This is everything for this team right now. Tayson just above him. They need to stay together if they have any hope of pushing their way on in. Joe was forced down as Vino goes as well, and so Thomas and Tayson now. Tayson actually going down, Anas will be the one to take him out, and so Thomas has to do it all alone if there's any single hope.
Absolute gridlock. It's Stenna and Rayed who are holding down 8th place, getting elims. surviving, it causes people to get put into a crunch. Joe's there with a big shot. It's just a 34, and the follow-up's not there either. At the same time, Joe's and Thomas' streams ended for now in this qualifier, and we tune into the deal. 7th place overall, still holding down the line. Can he survive for as long as possible? A solo play, it's always extravagant inside the same box. He's just rat-a-tat-it down, and his chance is solidified at 126, 130 for Tripper, though. He's still pushing the envelope forward. It's not over yet.
No, Matt Stowe, he's going to have to be dropped to one build by his teammates. Not going to cut the mustard whatsoever, but when they spot some players with them Stinger SMGs, anything is possible. And Pablo and Swag, the Flames boys, somehow taking height. They're in 11th. This game is huge for them. We've seen so many different teams taking height, but these guys seem to be the final ones to do it, and that's what matters the most. They need to be the ones who close it out if they have any hope. Pablo reloading that SMG. He knows how much these eliminations will need in terms of their point threshold. 11th place is not going to be enough, and so he's going to go and take that fight. He knows he has to do everything in his power, and he's going to force that player down now. Needs to be careful. Doesn't want to be too overzealous and overextend himself. But we know, Shayo, everything comes down to these final moments here.
11th, 1st, 2nd, and 15th, all in the fray still. Noah Riley has a chance. Pablo is looking for something, but he needs to get a majority of these eliminations. If anything, the Victory Royale. Andy finally down. Noah finds Queasy on the bottom side. Still up in 11th so far. They need these eliminations. Big pump shot on the right side. He's looking for a little bit more. 2 elims only for him right now. 7 total for the squad. A nice 60 damage shot from Pablo. Switch over to the left. Look at low ground. Can't find much. Rifla does get chomped out. They're up towards just 10th place. Is it going to be enough? They need that win. The final drop. A few edits just away from possible qualification and glory. 10th overall for now. If they qualified, that is the big question. But they did get the VR overall. Tripper and Zragi were there too. They solidified their spot, it looks like, from their perspective, just getting elim after elim, staying inside the feed the entire time, staying active in that endgame too. What a nail-biting game 6 to close off EU.
It came down to the wire, Shayo, and honestly, a lot of these teams now will be refreshing these leaderboards, trying to figure out where it is they came. Honestly though, the Flames boy from out the top drawer really pulling back that comeback there, and we will have to wait and find out whether or not it was enough. Great job though to close out that game. Shayo, it's been an absolute pleasure being able to break it all down with you. Flames, Pablo and Swag will close things out in game 6 of Qualifier 1. But guys, you ain't got to go too far to see